Hello everyone and welcome to the short video tutorial series of Planet Pro. I'm Mike Shaw. In this video, let's talk about how to import a 3D model built by another 3D modeling software tool. Now this video is an advanced level video tutorial, as you can see here. So if you're just beginning to use Planet, feel free to skip this one and watch the more basic level videos. After you use the app for a while, eventually you'll find the need to import your own 3D models, and then you can come back and watch it. So we introduced the 3D model feature more than a year ago. At the time of launching, there were about 3,000 shared markers. Now there are more than 6,000 shared markers, and among those, 4,830 markers have a 3D model. So who made all this happen? You did, our Planet users. And here are some of the users who have contributed a lot of markers, and so we just want to say a big thank you to all of you. Now, we suggest that you use your Instagram name as your Planet account username so that we know who you are on Instagram. You might be in the same city as the users who contributed the 3D models that you're using. So if you happen to run into them when you're out shooting, please give them a big hug and say thank you. It's their selfless contributions that make the Planet app and our collective community better and better every day. To encourage more people to publish 3D models, we also award points for public 3D model contributions, and these can extend the expiration date of your 3D model subscription. Now, of course, we don't expect all users to contribute 3D models because it needs a decent level of technical skills. But if you're familiar with SketchUp or any other 3D modeling software, you can find out how to import a 3D model into Planet and then use it. So if you're willing to share and contribute to the Planet community, that would be great and deeply appreciated. So we've listed the steps here, and you can use this as a reference when you try to do this yourself. But I'll guide you through these steps in this video using a real example. This is the 3D Warehouse website. You can start by searching the city where you live. In today's demo, we're going to use Houston, Texas as an example. So let's search for Houston, tap to select Collections, and you can see a few collections that people have put together for the city. Taking this one as an example, there are 25 building models. If I were in the city, I'd download all these models and import them into Planet when I had the chance. You can also search by the building name. For example, the tallest building in Houston is the J.P. Morgan Chase Tower. I can search for it and find these 3D models. The first 5 are the correct models. If this building is particularly important, for example, an iconic building in your city, I'd be willing to spend some more time on it. But in the meantime, I'll download all 5 of these and find out which one is the most accurate with the least faces, which I'll explain in just a minute. But for the demo, let's take a look at this one. You can tap here to preview the 3D model. So for our planning purposes in Planet, we don't need that many details for our models. Here it says 67 polygons. That's good. If the 3D model includes all the windows and stairs for this building, it'd probably have more than 10,000 or 20,000 polygons, and that's not good. Because this level of detail will increase the file size, it'll take a long time to download and take a long time to display in the VR viewfinder, and yet it doesn't really bring us a significant benefit. You can drag it to preview the model. If it seems good, just tap the download button to download it. On my desktop or whatever folder you prefer, create a Models subfolder, then move the downloaded file to it. I'll rename it J.P. Morgan Chase Tower. Then double-click to open it in SketchUp. So yeah, you do need to install SketchUp first, and it is a paid app, but they are kind enough to offer a free monthly trial. You could use it to convert all the building models in your city to the OBJ format. So this is what it looks like. So first of all, click on the Outlines window and see if there are any unnecessary groups. The Susan group is the default element that SketchUp added, so we right-click and erase it. There could also be some map layers that the modeler used to place the building correctly on the map, and you can delete those too. Then you click on the View menu and select Hidden Geometry and Hidden Objects to make sure there's nothing hidden. In this case, there are no hidden objects. Then click on Wireframe View so that you can examine the details without being blocked by the surface. If you see anything inside the building or unnecessary details that we're not going to use, feel free to delete those. Then you can click on this Shaded View button. By default, SketchUp will use the Shaded with Texture view so that we can see the image texture of the building. It looks nice, but it uses a lot of data because of the texture, and Planet doesn't recognize texture. So the shaded view is what you'll see in the Planet after import. We check to make sure the colors are looking good. Now after all this review, click on the File menu, Export, 3D Model to export the model. When you do it for the first time, make sure you click the Options button and uncheck all of them. For the units, choose meters, then you click Export. Now the export process is done. Here's the summary. There are 68 faces, which is nice. If you go to the exported folder, you'll see the MTL and the OBJ file it generated. So now let's go back to Planet. Search for JP Morgan Chase Tower, and here you go. Tap to select it. Tap the Add Marker button to add a marker. Put the name, choose Building Category, and select Skyscraper. Click here to import the model. It says it can't find any model files, which is expected, as we haven't copied the model over to the phone. But take a look at this folder that it mentioned. This is where you'll need to put the OBJ and the MTL files. Now, if you're on Android, connect your phone to your computer using a USB cable. Swipe down the status bar on the top and tap the Charging this device with USB. It might be a different message on your phone. Choose Files to enable the transfer of files. Now the phone will show up in File Explorer. Double-click on the phone and go to Android Media. Over here is the folder that Planet owns. Double-click on it, then PFT, then the Models folder. It's empty, which is why Planet complained earlier. So just select both MTL and OBJ files that were just generated, drag and drop them to the Models folder on your phone, and done. Now if you're on iOS and click the Import button, you'll see a dialog like this. It means that there are no model files in the Models folder. The Models folder it mentioned here can be seen using the Files app. Open the app, tap On My Phone, then Planet, then Models. You can airdrop the OBJ and MTL files to this folder from your Mac. Or if you want to do it on your Mac, you can use the Finder to create a Models folder on your Mac, copy the OBJ and MTL files into that folder, then drag the Models folder on your Mac to replace this Models folder on your iPhone. Finder doesn't allow you to drag files into the Models folder on the iPhone. That's why we suggest you replace the entire folder. After it's done, you can go back to Planet and import the model. Now you'll go back to Planet, tap the Import button again, and now we see the model file. Tap it to import it. Now here are some options when you import a model. Now I'll skip the rest of the options and click OK, and then click Confirm. Now we can see the outline of the building on the map. Clearly, the location is wrong. If you zoom in on the map, you can see the bottom of the building is over here. The other side is here. So we need to adjust the model to match it. To do so, press and hold on the pencil button, and now you can use the joystick to drag it. Make sure you do so very carefully. Zoom in if you need to. If the model is not aligned, you can also use this small ball to rotate the model until the model is perfectly aligned with the satellite map. Now it looks perfect. You can tap anywhere on the map to confirm the change. Then tap to select the marker and edit it again. Now we still need to check two more things. The first is the height. Here it says the height is 1,013 feet. Is that correct? Well, we don't know yet, but I can search for the building name and find out. We'll put the height at the end of the search and then search again, and now it says 1,002 feet. So the height of the model is wrong here. We can fix it by tapping this pencil button and then scaling the model. If you check this Scale Height checkbox, both the height and the width will be scaled proportionately, and that's not what we want. So we tap the Chain button to untie the connection between the height and the width, uncheck the width one, and then enter 1,002 feet here for the height. Done. Now you get 1,002 feet as the height, and the width is not changed. In other words, we just scaled the height of the model from 1,013 feet down to 1,002 feet without changing the width of the model. In other cases, you might need to scale both or just scale the width. You can just do so accordingly. The second thing to check is to place the building vertically in the correct position. That's determined by the elevation here, which is 45.3 feet. Now I'm using the Google elevation server on the phone, which is more accurate. But as we mentioned in an earlier tutorial, most Planet users use the default elevation server, which is somewhat less accurate. So to ensure everyone gets the same result in the VR viewfinder in this demonstration, we'll put the building at a fixed elevation. To do so, check this From the Sea Level checkbox. This elevation of 45.3 feet is automatically filled in. Is 45.3 feet the correct elevation? We can use another tool to verify that, and that's Google Earth Pro. So here is Google Earth Pro. Search for the JP Morgan Chase Tower, zoom all the way in, move the mouse over the building, and you can see the elevation on the bottom. As you can see, it actually considered the building height. That's not what we want. So we click here to uncheck the 3D buildings. Then you can move the mouse over the building again, and now it says 45 feet or 46 feet. So the elevation that we got in Planet is accurate. Go back to Planet. For the sake of the demo, I'll clear this and enter 45 feet here just to show you how to do it. Click Confirm, and done. Now, we just finished the first marker with an imported 3D model. Now, you might want to take a look at that in the VR viewfinder to make sure it looks good. So we'll set this as the scene, set the camera over here, open up the VR, and there you go. Good job. All right, so if you want to publish this model, here's how you do that. Tap to select the marker, tap Edit, then tap on the Share button on the top, then Publish this marker. Planet will examine the marker to make sure it has everything that's required. If a requirement isn't met, we'll put a tick mark next to that requirement. But let's say you forgot to name the marker, and if you try to publish, you'll see the name of the marker requirement has an error mark. So go back, put in the name, publish again, and the error mark is gone. Then you can check this checkbox to give us permissions to show the model to other users and click the Upload button to publish it. And here we show you how we reward the contribution for different markers. This marker is a downloaded 3D model, so the award is 5 points. Now click Upload, wait until it's uploaded, and done. We'll look at each uploaded markers and approve them. Give us a day or so because of the time zone difference, and after it's approved, you can open Planet and you'll see a square marker like this. And yes, that's the one that you just published. The circle markers are your local markers and other people can't see those. The square markers are markers shared by you or from other users. You are also awarded points for sharing this marker. To find out how many points you got, go to Menu, Profile, My Purchases, and from here you can see that you were awarded 5 points and your 3D model subscription has been extended by 9 days. Nice job, and thank you for your contribution. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and enjoy learning and using Planet.